Alright, hello guys and gals, welcome to episode number 8. Here we go, this is a good one today, I'm really fired up for this. Thank you for joining me once again. And before I get into this episode, as always, thank you everyone for subscribing to the channel and for viewing all my videos. It seems that they're getting more and more popular, which is great. I really appreciate the support, so thanks for coming back for episode 8. Right, so I'm going to get straight into this one today. I want to pick up the theme that I had a couple of videos ago that I haven't done for a little while now, which is to talk about underrated guitar players. And rather than just go through the motions and sort of build up to it, I'm going to go straight to the heart of the matter. Today I want to talk about Zal Cleminson from the Sensational Alex Harvey Band. I'm sure that's a name that maybe not too many people are aware of. However, perhaps more than any other underrated player that I could hope to talk about, I really wish people did know more about the Sensational Alex Harvey Band. If ever a band deserved to have the word sensational in their name, it was definitely them. So just a little bit of background for anyone who's unaware. They were a Scottish band, kind of originated in the 70s. And really they were the precursor to so many different acts. They had a lot of theatricality in their show, and so you know that really influenced bands, I guess, going forward, like Kiss, which, you know, my favourite band of all time is Kiss, so that's kind of the precursor to that almost. And they did it all with a really cool little sort of, they're a Scottish band, they always had a little bit of a Scottish whip and quip to them, so they always had a very good sense of humour, and the theatricality of what they did was really kind of dry-witted, and I loved that. And so live they're an amazing band, but just musically speaking as well, I was really taken the first time I heard them with Zal's guitar playing. And you'll have heard just from the little intro there, I was kind of riffing on probably my favourite Alex Harvey Band track, which is The Last of the Teenage Idols. Amazingly dynamic track. It starts with a really soft piano intro, builds up into that kind of thudding little B minor section I was riffing on and soloing over, and then it just takes off into that real cool gallopy E major thing. And that's kind of the magic of that band. They just had so much going for them, and it's a real shame that I don't think many people even know who they are. But today I want to focus a little bit more, not just on the great band, but also Zal's playing. And he was often using a Gibson SG special, so I've pinched this guitar from Peach Guitars. I've borrowed it from the shop, and to try and get into the Zal zone, if you like. And obviously this guitar, you know, an SG with P90s is one of my favourite Gibsons of all time, not just for Zal, but also, you know, guys like Pete Townshend, early Santana. A lot of players have gravitated to this guitar, and it's just got such a great snappy tone. But to my mind anyway, I think Zal Cleminson is probably the best proponent of this guitar. You really hear the snap and the attack that he had, and he did later on in his career, I believe, play Gibson Firebird as well. And you know, I'll talk a little bit later about the fact that he is still performing. He's got his own act, I believe they're called Sin Dogs, and you know, kind of gone in a heavier direction. But the early Alex Harvey stuff is just some of my favourite guitar material of all time. And you know, that track I showed you at the beginning, as I say, was probably my favourite. But you know, most people will know or be aware of perhaps Faith Healer, which was, oh, man, whenever I hear that, I mean, the band itself was amazing, but then you hear this guitar part come in over this little introduction part, this little synth introduction thing of going, and then the guitar goes, what a great rock track. And again, it had everything. It had the theatre to it, it had the suspenseful build-up, and but the guitar just always floored me because the way he played is so aggressive, and when you listen to him solo, he's got the most unique vibrato. It's kind of like Paul Kossoff ×2, I guess. You know, he's got that real wild, wide vibrato as well. That kind of a thing. And to play with that much vibrato in his leads, whenever he'd go back to rhythm, he was always really, really well in tune, really well intonated. And, you know, that's not always the case, but that takes an incredible amount of skill. And it really kind of just highlights to me why I think he's one of the best rock guitar players I've ever heard, because he's got the perfect balance of that real raw emotive soloing, and then this really, the band was so tight anyway, but his playing, Zal's playing, was just on another level to me. And you know, if you haven't heard that band, you know, I've talked about a couple of tracks, but the one I really want to point out to you to get the proper essence of what the Alex Harvey Band is about would be the track Anthem. You know, it's kind of, well, it's their anthem, as the name implies. You know, Scottish band, there's a lot of Scottish influence in there, and Zal's playing on that. I mean, there's this amazing solo. I mean, I'm not going to do it justice right now, but the chords go something like this into it. And that to me is rock and roll. That's some of the best rock and roll guitar playing. He had some of the best rock and roll guitar tone, and I'm really, really pleased I've managed to kind of get fairly close today with, I'm using the Dr. Z Remedy up there. You know, it was a Plexi on 10, it was what all those guys did back in the day, and when you had such a simple setup, your voice really mattered, and you know, just guitar into an amp, your vibrato and your phrasing really defined your playing, more so than your tone, I would say, because the gear was so simple and it was pretty much the same stuff that most players were using at the time. That's what I love about all those greats, the greats that we all love. They all sound like themselves because they play like themselves, and it's not really anything to do with the gear. I've heard Zal play on all kinds of amps, and nowadays his tone is much heavier, as I alluded to earlier in his own stuff. I've heard a little bit of it, and it's a much heavier direction than the Alex Harvey Band, but it still sounds like him, and it's all to do with his vibrato and his touch, and you know, he had it going on, and he's still got it going on. So today is a little bit of a tribute to that great band. If you haven't listened to them before, please do. Just incredible. The whole band was incredible, but Zal Cleminson, and despite the fact, you know, the other thing I omit to mention is that his playing was amazing. He was prancing around the stage dressed as a clown the whole time as well, and that theatrical side of the band I talked about before, he was kind of the pinpoint of it. His stage presence was huge. So despite being an incredible guitar player on record and live, he was dancing around the stage like an absolute maniac at the same time. So you've got to give him extra credit for that, I think. So, you know, that's my little bit of tribute to Zal. And I also want to just say about this guitar, I've never owned a P90-equipped guitar, and as I said, this is probably the best example, in my opinion, an SG with P90s. Les Pauls and any other guitar are great too with P90 pickups, but to me, P90s are all about that snappy attack. And you'll have heard also when I played right at the start, the clean tone. Pete Townsend did a great job with that too, you know, going from clean to then. And you know, just another note, even though we all know about AC/DC and the kind of SG and the Marshall thing, and Angus's tone is always purported to be with the humbucker, I actually think you can get really close with a P90. particularly for the earlier stuff. You know, you'll have heard it there, that snap, but it's got all the balls to it, but it's got so much more articulation in the top end. There's actually a lot of parity between the Alex Harvey Band and AC/DC. You know, you can really hear that Alex Harvey was very much the precursor to Bon Scott as well. So their influence is huge. So many bands have taken influence from the Alex Harvey Band, whether they know it or not, and I'm sure a lot of guitar players have as well, when it comes to Zal's playing and just that tone and that approach. It's mega, it's timeless, and I want to do a little bit of tribute to it today. And while I've got this guitar, I think I will also do another video coming up shortly on the virtues of the P90 pickup. That's a totally different issue because it's such a big subject. So I think I'm going to cut off there today. That's my tribute to the Sensational Alex Harvey Band. Go and listen to them, go and listen to Zal Cleminson, and if you feel inclined, listen to what he's doing nowadays and support him, because he's still a working musician, so it's amazing. I also just want to say before I go, thank you everyone, as I said at the start, for the continued support. I've just passed the 2K subscriber count, which in the world of YouTube is small fry, but to me that's much appreciated. I really am thankful for the support that this channel has gained so quickly, and long may it continue. I'm going to keep putting the videos out if you keep watching them. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.